Welcome back to the Crypto Trade Management course. This is lesson 6. And before we start, one important note. Everything in this lesson is for educational purposes only. It's not for financial advice. And nothing here is a recommendation for you to buy or sell anything. We're just simply explaining to you how we think about managing a trade so that you can understand the concepts, do your own research, and then you can manage your own risk accordingly. Now, with that being said, Bogdan, let's recap where we're at, mate.
Yes, buddy. We need that.
Over the last 5 lessons, we've built the foundation. We went through the mental side, we went through reading market structure, we went through the risk framework, we did what a valid setup looks like, and lesson 5 was how an entry gets executed. So today, in lesson 6, we're going to look at what comes after that, which is the concepts behind managing your position once it's already open.
And this is the lesson I wish I understand years earlier, buddy. The first 5 give you the setup and the entry. This is the part that ties everything together.
Definitely, man. Absolutely. And let's be clear about what this is, right? It's a framework for understanding. We're not going to tell you what to trade or when. We're just going to explain to you the principles a systematic trader uses to think about risk after an open position and how those ideas then map into our dimension 6 in the mastery hub. So let's get started with the mindset, right? Because the concepts only make sense if this part actually clicks. And the idea we teach is that the moment the position is open, the job changes, right? Before, the focus is on identifying a valid setup. After it becomes about managing the risk and following a plan that was already defined in advance. And that's the key principle in this methodology. A management plan is decided before a position is ever opened and not improvised when it's live. The reasoning is actually quite simple here, Bogdan, as well, because once real money is involved, our emotion rises, and the emotion tends to be a poor input for decisions.
Yeah, buddy. So the idea is that all the things is done upfront while you are calm, you know?
That's the concept, mate. A plan made calmly tends to be more consistent than a decision made under pressure. And that's not a promise of any particular outcome. It's just the reasoning behind why this framework plans in advance.
It makes sense, you know? It's the plan already written. There's less to react to emotionally in the moment, in my opinion.
Exactly. And that's really the theme of the whole lesson here, mate, is that understanding how a predefined framework can replace in the moment reactions. Everything from there builds on that one actual idea. Now, the key thing I want everyone to understand here as well is that the principle of trade management is understanding how a plan defined calmly in advance and replace that in the moment emotion, because that's what traps us, mate. I mean, how many times have you been trapped by your emotions when you're mid-trade, right?
A lot of times, buddy. A lot of times. And this sometimes is already after all these years and all the experience I have, doesn't matter how much experience you have, in my opinion, because sometimes the emotion involved. And also, to be honest, buddy, also last week was a little bit hesitating to take some trades. I was waiting for some of them weeks in a row, and I still think about a couple of times before push the buy button with all the setups I have there, everything, all the TA.
Yeah, because again, it's the emotion getting the better of you. So what we need to do is have the pre-planning done. We've got to have trust in our process and trust in the system, and then we can just go through ticking the boxes calmly. But let's get into the first concept here, mate, and that is the break-even move. So let's clearly define it here for everyone. Now, because it's often misunderstood, a break-even move means adjusting your stop loss to the original entry price, right? And the idea behind it is that, in theory, the position can no longer move into a loss from that point on. So basically what you're doing is you're protecting your risk, okay, or eliminating your risk. Now, here's a common mistake that people make with this concept, and it's worth actually spending some time to understand it, because many traders apply the break-even move far too early. The position ticks slightly in their favor, their nerves take over, and they adjust the stop almost immediately. And in doing that, conceptually, that normal price movement can then close the position, prematurely.
I definitely used to misunderstand this one. I protect the position the second I is looking good, and then get taken out on a totally normal pullback, understanding why was a big shift for me, you know.
Yeah, man. No, it is. And you think that you're doing the right thing, right? You go, okay, I'm in a position, it's moving away from my entry. I'm going to just eliminate my risk. I'm being smart. But the problem with it is if you haven't got a defined area that price needs to clear, you can succumb to those normal market sort of pullbacks and things that happen. So it's actually it's a really common. So the governing rule that we teach in this methodology is this. A break-even move is something the position earns, right? So we need to get it to earn its right. And it's not something that is applied out of nerves. So in our framework, for example, that usually means waiting until price has reached a clearly defined milestone that you've already set in advance. And this is a point that shows the position has done some work before that. And you need that to happen before you even consider moving that stop loss to entry. And I want to be careful here because we're not going to actually tell you like what position to actually do that in, because that depends entirely on the setup of each particular chart, right? But the principle is the lesson. The decision is tied to a predefined milestone and not an emotion.
So the concept is the position has to prove something first, and the milestone for that is decide beforehand.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's exactly the idea. Understanding that distinction is the whole point of this actual example. So if I flick over to a trading view chart, this is an example on what you could do, right? Here's a Jupiter trade. Jupiter was moving in a nice parallel channel. And we saw that it had touched the bottom of the channel and we had our entry. But what we'd also done is we'd also predefined our TP1 and our break even to stop loss level. We knew we had previous resistance on the left. Once we got a candle running through that resistance, that was our milestone in order to move our stop loss from where it was up to its entry to then eliminate our risk, because we knew why. We'd cleared resistance and we were putting in a higher high. So we knew that we probably weren't going to put in a higher low, giving us a safety buffer in order to avoid getting stopped out. How good is Jupiter, mate? Wow.
Wow, exactly, buddy.
All right, so we've done that. We've talked about that reasoning and that methodology behind that. So we're going to move along now into partial exits. Now, this next concept is what a lot of people call partial exits. Other people call it scaling out of positions. But in this methodology anyway, the idea is that a position isn't closed in one single action. And here's the reasoning, and it's worth understanding, is that traders often swing between two opposite tendencies. They either close the entire position very early or you hold the entire position too long, right? That's often what we do, yeah? I mean, we've done it, mate. You know, you get emotionally scared out of a position too early, or you get stubborn / cocky and you hold a position too long and it comes back to you. Neither are nice, are they, mate?
Exactly, buddy.
So the idea here is that the concept here is that scaling out is kind of like a middle road between those two opposite ends of the scale. So reducing a portion of the position at a point defined in advance is more beneficial and more consistently to your advantage than getting out of a position in its entirety. Always leave a little bit to run to your final destination as well.
For me, buddy, understanding that concept took a lot of the stress out of it. You know, once a portion's been managed, it's easier to stay calm and stick to the plan with the rest, you know.
And that is actually the real educational point here, man, is the value people tend to describe is psychological. It can make it easier to follow a plan without panicking. And I want to stress, though, we're not prescribing how much to scale out or where, because that comes again down to your own risk tolerance, your own analysis on the charts. But the psychological edge that you can gain by scaling out of a position is great. You've got this emotional freedom all of a sudden. And that's why you know me, the community knows me, that when I get to my TP1 level or my milestone for break even, I always take a little bit of profit away at that point, because then I'm guaranteed that this trade is absolutely a win. And I'm psychologically free at that point to just let the rest of the trade play out as I'd pre-planned to manage it. So it's a lot easier on the mind.
Yeah,
so yeah, scaling out is a concept for managing the position in parts, right, at predefined points. It's not a formula. Like there's no maths in it. There's no formula. It's looking at your chart, doing your own research and picking these predetermined milestones and then reducing your risk as you go and rewarding yourself with those profits as you go as well.
And like everything in this course, those points are the part of the plan before anything it's open.
Yeah, man, exactly. The same principle running through the whole lesson. You want to decide it calmly, ahead of time, not when you're under pressure, man. Not when you're under pressure at all. Because as we know, our mind does weird stuff to us, right?
Oh yeah, buddy. The biggest silly mistake I make under the pressure. So I know the feeling.
I know, man. That is not cool. So now we're going to go on to one of the most important concepts in the whole course, understanding the difference between position moving against you and a position stalling. Now, they can feel the same in the moment, but in this framework, they're thought about very differently. Firstly, moving against you, right? This is where price moves towards the level that would make the original idea invalid. The principle that we teach here is the one to really understand. In a disciplined process, the predefined stop is not widened to give you more room. The reasoning is straightforward. If the price reaches the level that invalidates the original idea, then the basis for being in that position is no longer valid, right? We're not going to go moving our stop down lower because price is coming towards it, because we've predetermined again that if price comes down into that level, our whole idea is dead and we don't want to be in there any longer.
That's a hard one emotion you talked about. Widening the stop can feel reasonable in that moment. You know, how many times happened that?
No, it is. Hey, and it's crazy because you truly believe that is the reasonable thing to do at that moment in time. And that's why understanding it in advance really matters, because conceptually, a small predefined loss is part of a management process. Widening the stop out of emotion is how small planned outcomes can turn into a much larger one. So the principle is the level was defined calmly in advance and a disciplined process respects it. Again, that's how the education framework for this works, right? Pre-planned in advance, do it before your emotions take control. Because in the moment, your mind plays tricks on you. Like you said, mate, you know, at the time, it feels like it's the right thing to do, moving your stop. And how many times have you ever lowered your stop and been able to survive the trade and come out of it without getting yourself liquidated, or without actually, in the end, completely capitulating and just manually closing it at a far greater loss?
Too many times, buddy. Too many times.
Yeah, you never get out of those trades, though, in profit. You always end up either getting liquidated or you capitulate eventually. So the second one here is the scenario called stalling. And this is actually different because the position isn't moving towards invalidation. It's just not doing much at all. It's drifting sideways. Momentum is gone. And this is one that calls for a judgment rather than a fixed rule. And mate, this is one that you are experiencing right now, yeah? We had our London Open earlier, and you are sitting in at the same P&L you were 12 hours ago.
Yeah. So how do you even tell the difference between something stalling and something that just needs more time, buddy?
Yeah, it's good, man, because this is the thing that we talked about for you as well, is that the way that we frame it is we go back to the reason the idea existed in the first place. So if the conditions that define the original idea are still present, then that's one situation. If those conditions have quietly disappeared and it's just drifting, that's what we describe as stalling, right? And at that point, the concept is to reassess against the original plan and not to react out of fear.
So moving against you is the mechanical one. The stop constant handles it. Stalling is where the actual thinking happening.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, if it's just drifting down towards your stop, that's the mechanical one, right? And that's why your stop's there, is to protect you. But if it's just going sideways and nothing is happening, go back to the chart, look at it and go, you know, is the original thesis still valid? Why did I enter this position? If I was to enter the position now, would I enter the position now? You know, ask yourself that question. Would I get into it now or not? And if the answer is no, I wouldn't, then don't be in the position now either. Yeah. So it's a judgment call. At the end of the day, if it's stalling, you've got to go back and reassess it and ask yourself that question.
Yeah, buddy. Exactly that I do, you know. And by the way, I closed my position because we stayed too long. I stayed too long in that area and I didn't like it.
Exactly. You went back and you reassessed it. You're like, it's taking too long here. I don't like the way this looks now. I'm out. I'm going to take what money I've got and just get out of there. It's good. Cool, man. Let's move along. So let's pull the concepts of this lesson together into a simple little checklist. Now, think of these as understanding checks that you need to go through throughout the trade. First one is the mindset, right? So once your position is open, the thinking shifts to managing risk against a defined plan in advance. So you're no longer a trader. Once you're in a position, you become a risk manager at the end of the day. Then we've got break even, which is the concept of the break even move, which again, we earn by a predefined milestone. It's not applied out of emotion or nerves. Number 3 is scaling out. It's managing a position in parts. Again, predetermined milestones in advance where we remove ourselves from the position slowly. Then there's number 4, which is against you, which is what we just talked about, governed by our defined level. So if it's coming against us, we don't panic. We go, okay, that is my invalidation point. That's where I said that this trade idea was dead, and you just let it hit your stop. And then the final one is Bogdan's favorite, is stalling. It is his most recent concept. And it's a position drifting sideways where it prompts you to reassess the original plan. And in his example he just spoke about, he literally closed the position, took the profit that he was in. What were you in, like about a 10 or 11% profit? You just got out of the position.
10%, buddy. 10%.
Yep.
12 hours stuck on 10%.
Crazy, hey? It literally has stalled. Like, it's the true definition of stalling.
Exactly, buddy.
So that's the framework of lesson 6, right? There's 5 concepts to understand.
And the things that ties all 5 together is that every one of them is taught before anything is live, That's the whole theme of the lesson.
Exactly. Understanding comes first, and then the discipline follows from understanding the concept. We always talk about this in the community, it's about trusting the concepts and trusting the flow of your checklists and things like that. So, mate, in lesson 7, we're going to move on to everybody's least favorite thing, reviewing and journaling. And we're going to talk about how a systematic trader looks back at a closed position and how you learn from it, right? It's completely separate from whether it worked out. It's about, did you follow the process itself and the improvements that you can make based on that actual data.
Yeah, buddy.
It's everybody's least favorite thing to do.
Oh, was so difficult for me, buddy, to start journaling. Oh my God, was so weird. But in my opinion, now is the second most important thing in trading.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, man. It's what it changes you for life. So, mate, one quick thing before we wrap it up. Everything that we just covered, the 5 concepts, is summed up on a single page in the free lesson 6 cheat sheet, right? So the Trade Management Mastery lesson 6 cheat sheet, you guys can grab it. All you got to do is click on the link in the description. Just join the free portion of the TMM community, right? All you need is an email. So you click on the link, put in your email address in the comment, in the link below, and you'll get into the free area of the community where you can grab that cheat sheet. But that's not all. You actually will also get access to other free tools that our community receive, like a macro dashboard, right? It's what we use every day to determine market context. It is a hosted dashboard, gives you everything you need to see. You'll also receive a position size calculator, and you'll get access to the daily newsletter that gives a macro view every day for the Asia session. So links in the description. Check it out.
Yeah, buddy.
And the other thing is, if you guys actually want the full structured pathway, what you do is once you're in the free community, you can then click on one of those other areas you're going to see. You can do a 7-day free trial of the full premium section of our community. You'll get access to the Mastery Hub, which is where you'll see all of this stuff actually in detail, much deeper material behind all of this, much deeper insights into our methodologies. So if you want to do a 7-day free trial, that's there for you as well. What we'd also like you to do, Bogdan, is we want everyone to drop a comment with the part of trade management that they find the hardest to get their head around, right? Bogdan and I read these comments all the time. So jump in there, write a comment down about the hardest thing about trade management, and we'll see if we can talk you through it.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining me today, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. And guys, please go and have some type of engagement in the comment section, because believe us, we read all the comments and we answer to all the comments.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Bogdan.
Thank you, buddy. And take care, guys. See you next time.